Practical faithlessness. It's another devotional. It's another day. It's something that's going to bless us greatly today. And this is something that at times I've got right and at times I've failed. And it's how to handle conflict. Conflict, either be it with family, with friends, regardless of where it is. How do we handle conflict? And we see this in the family setting. Abram and Lot. Genesis chapter 13. Now, obviously, they were together in the same area. I mean, their wealth grew. Their livestock, their cattle, and their sheep just grew so much that they couldn't live off the same land. So we also see that the herders, the workers of Abram and Lot, were quarreling with each other because obviously you want, the best for your master at the time, and you want to make sure that his cattle or his sheep is very well fed, and it just wasn't enough. So we see the quarrels, we see the fights among them, and Abram goes to Lot and says, listen, we are family. Let not this get in the way. Let's sort something out. We're going to have to move because the land cannot support both of our wealth here, cannot support our livestock here. But this is interesting. He gives Lot the first choice. He says there that either you go left and I'll go right, or I'll go left and you go right. But you choose where you want to go. Now we see Lot's greed come in, and he looks, the grass always looks green on the other side, and he sees that. He ends up in Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't have to go into that story now, but we see that because his eyes deceived him, and it looks so great on the other side. Well, we know the problems that came out of that, but what I want to highlight here is what Abram did here. Looking at it, facing the potential conflict with his nephew Lot, Abram took the initiative in settling the dispute. He gave him the first choice. He says, okay, where do you want to go? You choose where you want to go. Now, this is something we can learn from. Abram, obviously, he was older than Lot. By that time, it was normally the oldest always had the first choice. The rights always went to the oldest son. But Abram sits back and he says, okay, you know what? You choose. Even though it could have basically derailed where Abram was going, it could have set him back. You go into an area that's not well looked after, not much rainfall. Your crops, your livestock is going to suffer. But Abram still chose this way. And look at, I just got 3 things I want to point out here. How to respond to difficult family situations or difficult friendship situations is take the initiative in resolving the conflicts. Stand up and go to them instead of just letting bickering, because they could have stood back and said, okay, well, you know what, the workers will sort this out, they will fight this out. Abram said, no, let's sort this out. Let's have peace. And that's what we've got to strive for. Let's have peace. The second thing I want to point out is let others have the first choice, even if it means not getting what we want. Now, this is a difficult one. See, he went up to Lot and he says, okay, you choose where you want to go. It looks great over there. Let's be honest, we all want to be there. The grass looks green on the other side, and that looks like, it is just so lush, so great. Having the first cookie in the jar. But it's not necessarily always the nicest. It's not always what's best for you. Because a lot of times, let's be honest, I think selfishness comes in here and we all want the best for ourselves. And sometimes standing back and saying, okay, you know what, let's sort this out. What do you want from it? Take it. Stand back, be the bigger person. Difficult. Let's be honest. It is difficult because we all want the best for ourselves, but it might not be to our benefit at the end of the day. And then the third thing, put family peace above personal desires. And how many times do we hear of families fighting over money, or families fighting over a house, or families fighting over a piece of jewelry that was left by your mother or your father, and it breaks relationships up. It divides a family. Things divide a family. And Abram says, you know what, I'm not going to let these earthly things break up a family. I am not going to allow that to happen. Okay, so you choose. He stood back. We see how God provided for Abram, because we know Abram's story is a lot greater than Lot's. A lot greater. But Abram took the initiative. He stood back and he tried to restore. And he said, okay, you know what? If that's going to make you happy, take it. I'm not going to. It's not worth fighting about. And then peace. Peace is one of the greatest things we can have in our life that comes from the Lord, and we must pursue peace wherever we go. So guys, I hope this message has blessed you, because I was greatly, influenced by this message, just reading this up, searching this, and I know it's going to be a great benefit to you. And I pray that we take Abram's example, apply it in our lives, and see how God works things out, not just for our benefit, but for our families as well, our friends as well. Maintain the peace and have the friendships and the relationships we so desire. Blessings, guys.